I'm 21, a Bulgarian tour guide who regularly takes groups to Sicily. On a recent trip, there was this one solo traveler, mid-30s, who made my job a whole lot harder than it needed to be. Our first full day, we had a tour to Etna and Taormina, leaving at 8 a.m. I always make sure everyone knows the schedule. I announce it on the bus the day before, hand out printed itineraries from the travel agency, and give everyone my number so they can call if they forget. That morning, everyone showed up on time, except her. She strolled up 10 minutes late. I let it slide, but reminded everyone that I won't tolerate lateness over 15 minutes unless it's an emergency, and they have to call me if they're running behind. The next day, she was even later, 25 minutes this time. I called her twice with no answer. We were literally about to leave when she came running. The only reason she made it was because the hotel receptionist stopped me to ask about some paperwork, buying her a few more minutes. I gave the group another reminder: wake up on time and I will not wait for latecomers. That evening, she cornered me and asked if I could make sure to wake her up on time from now on. I told her, politely but firmly, that I couldn't take responsibility for waking up every guest. That's what alarms are for. She kept insisting, no, just knock on my door if I'm not out by 8:15, and I kept repeating, no, that's not part of my job. Fast forward to the day of our Syracuse trip. She didn't show. I waited the 15 minutes I always allow for emergencies, called her twice, no answer, and then we left. About an hour later, she called in a panic asking where we were. I explained calmly that we'd left on time, she hadn't shown up, and I had called her with no response. She flipped out, accusing me of having one job and cheating her out of the money she paid for the tour. She missed the entire day trip and was still fuming the next day. To make matters worse, she told the other tourists I'd abandoned her and even called my agency, leaving a nasty review. It was incredibly awkward, but I stood by my decision. When we got back, I spoke to my manager right away, worried I'd have to defend myself endlessly. But as soon as I told him what happened, he laughed and said, "Hun, I deleted that nonsense the moment I read it." They even removed the bad review. Honestly, I felt relieved, but still annoyed at the whole ordeal. The way I see it, she had multiple reminders, a printed itinerary, my number, and explicit warnings. She was an adult, fully capable of setting an alarm. If I start knocking on doors for one guest, I'd have to do it for everyone, and that's simply not sustainable. But part of me wonders, was I too rigid? Should I have just knocked that morning to avoid the headache? I hate leaving people behind, but at some point, personal responsibility has to kick in. Am I the asshole for letting her miss the trip instead of waking her up? Thanks for listening, and if you want to hear more interesting stories, just click the link below.